Hey, good evening, everybody. This is Dr. Brett Brimhall. I'm excited to spend a little time with you tonight. We're going to go over that LifeVantage and the things that it has and what it's going to bring into your life if you're ready. So my background for the last my whole life, I've been in the medical space. At the age of 14, I started working in my dad's office. He's a chiropractor. And we've lectured all over the world. What I spent the last since I was really 14. Learning the healthcare profession in the natural space. And part of that was teaching with my dad, physician, over the last 25 plus years. He's a nutritional formulator. So he literally has formulated over 200 different natural products. And many of those I've used for years, helping and working with people. And tonight you're going to learn about a technology that is, far beyond what you maybe even imagine is possible. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to share some slides with you and kind of share a little bit of the backstory of why I am here and why I'm excited to share this information with you. And I want you to thank the person that invited you. So this is a picture that represents part of my journey. This is the handwriting of my nephew. At the time, he was 9 years old and he struggled a lot. He had a lot of allergies, very congested all the time. He struggled with a lot of anxieties. He struggled in school. He's one of those kids last one to get picked. He had to stay in his recess all the time to finish his homework. He didn't play well with others. And I went and talked with him and his mom with a friend of mine that introduced me to this product called Axio. Now, I was shocked at what I saw happen in 2 weeks. 2 weeks of him being on this was his handwriting. We had no idea this would happen, but the handwriting on the left, and then 2 weeks after he started on what's called Protandim Nerve 2 and Axio, and you'll know what that is here in a second. But what blows my mind about this is I want you to think about this little boy that thought that his life was going to consist of in school always struggling, that he was always going to be one of those ones that kind of last to get picked, didn't play well with others, and struggle. And it wasn't because he didn't want to be better. It's because his brain literally was having a hard time learning. Well, this product, Axio and Protandim Nerve 2, are a category product known as activators, nutrigenomic activators. What that means is a way to turn on your cells to do what they're designed to do. Now, I was introduced to this to a friend of mine named Carrie. She's a client of mine. She was sent to see me to bring her son to me because he was diagnosed at 2 with autism. And for every week or a whole year, I worked with their son. Now, his life, to paint a little picture for you, consisted of spending 35 hours of his week seeing therapists. He would go to occupational therapy, to speech therapy, behavioral therapy, to try to learn how to integrate into society. And still, after me working with a whole year, he was still in diapers and still didn't know his letters, his numbers, and still bottom of his class. Well, 11 days after he started this product, Axio, his verbal skills improved over 50%. I remember him coming to my office and he sat still for the first time instead of running around and destroying my room and answering questions that I asked him, and then going back in the back of the office and literally doing the things we wanted him to do. This little boy now, he's in a normal school. No one knows his diagnosis, and he's crushing it. Not because of anything other than his cells are now able to learn, which then he was able to express what was already in there. Now, this may seem too good to be true, and it really felt that way to me. But I want you to think about a lot of things, even like this little cell phone thing, or even how we're communicating right now. Not too long ago, we didn't have this. Well, what if there is something out there where we could get more out of what we're trying to get and allow our body to function at a higher level? Well, that maybe is now. So let me take you on a little journey. This science of what we're talking about is called nutrigenomics. And Washington State calls this science relating to one of these specific pathways potentially the most extraordinary therapeutic and preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. So what you're about to learn, Washington State believes, is potentially the most extraordinary therapeutic and preventative breakthrough in the history of medicine. The question is how will it impact you, and how soon will you take a benefit of it? And who do you know that would love to take advantage of that right now? So this all started years and years ago with a scientific breakthrough. A graduate student at Duke University was studying and found a particular enzyme that had a huge benefit in actually helping the cells clean up and control the inflammatory process. He was literally given an award for that discovery. the same award that Alexander Graham Bell got and the Wright brothers. It literally changed the course of human history. So after years of discovering that enzyme, he spent years trying to understand and to make how to get the body to make those things. He started combination of pharmaceuticals, eventually led into a combination of herbal extracts, where literally putting those herbal extracts in a particular fashion caused a huge activation of the pathway known as Nrf2. And that product literally had the 10-year study showing to extend life. Now, this is called Protandim Nrf2. There's a video that I want you to go back and watch. And it's an ABC investigative report that was done in 2003, where literally the ABC caught one that the scientists had made a product that showed that it might turn back the clock. Well, biologically, that is absolutely the case. That led to where we are today. And I want to fill you in on what that looks like. After this ABC report aired, many people wanted the product, and especially researchers, because they knew that the process that it helped correct, which is called oxidative stress, which is literally like rusting from the inside out, is the Nrf2 pathway activates this pathway to control that oxidative stress response. You can go to PubMed.gov, type in the name of this product called Protandim Nrf2, and you can see studies that have been studies that had literally been done on the product specifically, not the ingredients. Now, the interesting thing about that, of all the products my dad created, 0 of them have any studies published on PubMed. That's because it's super hard to get done. So I want you to go look that up and just let the credibility of that kind of sink in, of a natural product showing to extend the lifespan. And ask yourself, do I want to take benefit now or later? Hopefully now. So what's the problem? The problem is oxidative stress. Most of the time in medicine, we talk about symptoms, not systems. Well, your body has systems to handle the environment and handle the stress you're going to put on it. One of those being is how to control the oxidative stress system. Now, that relates to things that we eat, things that we drink, the air we breathe, too much or too little exercise, a lot of pollutants, and then even electromagnetic stress. All of these cause oxidative stress on the cells. Think of it like rust. And as that oxidative stress gets out of control, things break down, they become dysfunctional, and then eventually they completely die. So what can we do about it? Well, first of all, when you go to PubMed or you do research anywhere, type in oxidative stress and anything you may be concerned about, whether that's skin cancer, whether that's kidney disease, whether that's joint arthritis, whether that's lung disease, whatever it might be, maybe any of your family members that have struggled with something, or maybe a family history you're concerned about, type in oxidative stress and that particular process and see if they relate, and especially on this place called PubMed.gov. What you're going to find is literally thousands and thousands of studies that point oxidative stress as a root cause of hundreds of illnesses. So if this is such a big deal, this problem, what are you doing about it? Well, you now have a new option. Protandim Nrf2 literally has been shown to lower oxidative stress by an average 40% in 30 days. Now, it does this by increasing enzymes in your body. And some of you have probably heard about it if you've really watched anything lately. Like, I had a friend of mine send me an article today talking about mold and mycotoxins, and those actually cause a problem in the body by decreasing glutathione. Or Protandim Nrf2 upregulates glutathione in the cells by 300%. And it's also the only dietary supplement proven to extend life. Again, let that sink in. People always want to say, when is it safe? Is it effective? Does it have any research? Well, I've never seen any supplement ever have a 10-year study, especially from a positive spin like this, and done by the National Institutes of Health. So now the question is, are you ready to try to take advantage of that? Because here's your options. You have oxidative stress right now. And how you feel right now is a result of the systems in your body and how well it's handling the stress that's been placed against it. So you have an option. To get the benefit of one pill of Protandim Nrf2, you'd have to eat 500 cups of broccoli a day, or 400 oranges, right? Or 110 cups of blueberry. There's no way humanly you could do that without having a lot of other issues. So technology has given us a way now where we can be able to offset the amount of stress we're under by utilizing this science and having products that are specifically designed to activate the natural inborn abilities of your cells. So Protandim Nerve 2, it helps your body control that inflammatory response, detoxification, and helping your body make those healthy enzymes. Well, there's other huge key systems of your body, one of them being the ones that make cellular energy, and then one that relates to cellular communication. If you can do each one of those, you have a huge impact upon overall health. One of them is called Protandim Nerve 1. It relates to how your body makes energy and helps recycle it. Another one's called Protandim NAD. You may have heard of intermittent fasting or calorie restriction or sirtuins. There's a lot of things out there now supporting specifically this. And this relates very much so to tightening the inflammation, maintaining cholesterol levels, which is directly to cardiovascular systems. Well, LifeVantage, every product that they're making is designed around the concept, not necessarily of ingredients. They use the best, highest quality ingredients, but understanding how those ingredients need to be put together to maximize the production of the cells to do its healthy thing. So they've now taken that to a whole new level with a liquid collagen. Now, I've heard about liquid collagen for years, and I want you to ask yourself, have you taken a collagen before? And why did you take it? And what were the benefits that you saw? Collagen is everywhere in your body. Any of your tissues that stretch has collagen in it. So yes, that's your hair, that's your skin, that's your nails, right? But it also has a much bigger effect than that. It's in your blood vessels, it's in your intestinal tract, it's in all the barriers of your body, like the barrier of your skin, the barrier between your brain and your blood, known as the blood-brain barrier, and the intestinal tract. It's hugely important in all those different things. It's literally the glue that helps hold us all together. And if your body doesn't have collagen, it had a hard time repairing those cells that have been damaged. Now, as we age, we all see this process of decreased collagen when you look at somebody and how they age. Well, a lot of people feel them also. Your joints have a lot of collagen in it. So a lot of people will feel achy or stiff. So I want you to think about how flexible were you years ago and how flexible are you now? Whether that has to do with your skin, right? Or whether it has to do with your joints, your ligaments, or your tendons. A lot of it relates back to collagen. And think about if you've been on a collagen, has it really helped you that much? Or do you feel like you're not getting the benefit you think you should have? Well, LifeVantage again has done something very different when it comes to collagen. This activates, replenishes, and maintains. Now, activation, just like I talked about before, it relates to turning on the cell's ability to make things. Just to give you a little example, when you make anything in your kitchen, you have to basically have the ingredients, but you can't just put the ingredients on the table and hope they do something. You have to put the ingredients there, put them together in the right ratios of each particular ingredient, then you have to bake it for the right period of time for the right temperature. When you put those ingredients together in the oven and you put them at that time and temperature, it activates the potential in them in order to be able to make the thing that you want. Your body's no different. But most products out there, this is not even a concept that people look at as, hey, if I put them together in a particular ratio that the cells need them in, and I'm looking at how the cell produces things, can I upregulate or maximize the potential of that production line? Well, LifeVantage Foundation is just that, is to activate. So what happens when what's that activator in the collagen? It's called red quinoa extract. This turns on those genes, like we talked about before, to cause the body to turn on the collagen production inside the body. Now, it's from a very natural source from what's called marine collagen peptides. So I truly believe one of the reasons why we're seeing the results we are, which I'll show you a picture here in a minute, has to do with several things. Number one, it's activated. That's not something people are talking about. The concept of everything we're doing here is about activation, activating the body's inborn abilities to do the things it's designed to do. That's hugely important because you got to turn the oven on, doesn't do any good. But then you have to have the right ingredients, and they have to be able to be absorbed. One of the challenges with collagen specifically across the board is the fact is a lot of people with GI tracts have a hard time absorbing nutrients. Why? Stress levels, poor diet, antibiotic use, all sorts of things like the gut dysfunction. Well, when that occurs, you can't absorb the collagen, and even when you do bigger molecules than you should, you're gonna start having reactions to it. So this has 10 different types of collagen, and they're broken down to individual amino acids. All that means is they're going to come through your body, absorbs them, And because they're in small particles, your body can absorb them and utilize them and not immune react to them. Many of the autoimmune problems that we see today are a result of the body having a reaction to these proteins that are in our foods the body cannot break down, and it's not used to seeing them, so it attacks them. Well, if it attacks an amino acid or a protein or whatever it might be in the intestinal tract, or what's called in the space there, it's then going to cause an immune reaction other places, maybe in your skin. They might call that psoriasis. Maybe in your thyroid, they might call it Hashimoto's. Maybe in your joint, might call that rheumatoid. Bottom line is, because this protein, this collagen broken into small different amino acids, and it's activated, and it's from a super clean source, your body can utilize it, and then it can turn on the genes to manufacture the collagen. Now, how it's sweetened with some berry extracts, so it's very, very palatable, easy to get down, people. Here's just a few pictures of individuals and the changes that you saw in a very short period of time. And when you look at these, I want to think about, okay, so that's 15 days, that's 20 days. Well, like amazing. Look at around the eyes and the change in the lines and the wrinkles. You'll see changes in the skin first because the skin replicates fastest. But what about the rest of the body? I love these pictures here. Look at the difference in the lines of these individuals in just a couple weeks. This one blew my mind. I literally called the lady that I know that said that this was, and I said, "Is this for real?" And I know her really well, and she said yes. So look at the change in her legs and that skin. So now I want you to think, okay, if that's happening in the skin and the body doesn't care near about the skin as much as it cares about your brain or your joints or your heart or your blood vessels, what type of change might happen in those other areas that have collagen? Now, what I've been super happy about watching with this, because as you see these changes here, and you think about where else collagen is, I have multiple patients I've watched over this last few weeks of being on this and watching the changes happen. And some of these of individuals I've literally worked with for 15 plus years, and watching the changes in their bodies, not only from the outside, but what's happening on the inside, watching their muscle strength improve, watching their mental clarity return, watching their overwhelm leave. It all relates to the body is now getting what it needs. It's able to break it down, assimilate it, and control that inflammatory process better. So everything LifeVantage does based on the concept of activation. So look at whatever product you might be taking right now and ask yourself, does it activate the healthy genes of my body to improve the systems of my body? If it doesn't, I would assess what you're taking and maybe look into that. And then what are you interested in? LifeVantage, across their product line, focus on activation, whether that's with pets, whether that's the immune system, whether that's brain health, whether that's weight management, whether that's whole body healthcare, or whether that's collagen. Every single one of the products are based on that concept. So when I was introduced to this 7.5 years ago, it really came I wasn't looking for a product. I had that little boy I was trying to help. And I still remember the day his mom came in, and he has an older brother, and the older brother got straight A's again. And he told his mom, "Look, I just want to be smart like my brother." Now, the father of four, that literally broke my heart. So I was like, I'm doing everything I can. She's doing everything she can. And yet it's still a struggle where our only option was just keep going. Thank heavens that LifeVantage looked at brain health and addressed the brain fatigue with the Axial using activation. This little boy's life today is different and better and amazing because of that. But that has led me to now sharing this and helping people all across the world. Now, it might have stopped there with me. Just that story, maybe helping a few of my patients. So why am I here now? Not long after that little boy had those master results, I found myself canceling patients on a week's notice to go meet the scientist to really kind of wrap my mind around what I saw. And I started using the product in many other of my patients and watching the changes happen to them. And then God had a funny way of getting my attention. I don't know if any of this ever happened to you, but I broke my leg playing basketball, and I found myself hobbling around treating patients. I had a busy practice, 4 children, household to run and to provide for, and I literally couldn't stop practicing. My brother, who's a surgeon, said, "You really need to be off it." So that's just not an option. And for the first time in my life, I've always thought about what would I do if I couldn't practice, but it became extremely real to me that day. And I can remember back in 2008, 2009, when literally my wife and I had to let go of a house that we literally built. And I didn't want to have to ever go through that process again. So Carrie sat down with me and we had a conversation, and I want to know, like, how do you build, how do these products work? This amazing results. How do I build a business around this? How do I help other people and build an income that's outside of what I do every day? So I went to work. So 7 years later, but 3 years, this company and what we do allowed me to walk away from my full-time practice. So now I see patients Tuesday a week because I want to, and I get to help people all across the globe. If that's of interest to you, I want to show you how that works. Because when 2008, 9 hit, it was extremely hard. But when 2020 hit, when COVID went down, it didn't affect me financially because I built an income outside my practice. And I watched so many of my friends and family struggle because they didn't have another source of revenue. So if that's something of interest to you, maybe start now different than I did. I had to break my knee to see it. So hopefully you're quicker than I am. So the way social media is and the way social sharing work is there's so many different ways now to influence, impact people and share things. Every one of these companies are taking full advantage of that. Are you? So what we do is we build network of customers, network of distributors. You may not know me. Somebody might have invited you to this call to take a look. Well, guess what? Every week we do these. So you can invite anybody you want to come take a look at this information and then have a conversation. As we share the information, some people want to take the product, some people want to be distributors because they want to share and they want to earn. Either way, the product is the same price for either one. What I love about this business model, I can be anywhere and do it. And so I can take my computer and I can go. So how do you make money? You literally can get paid as you do the work every day, and then you're working on building an income that's leveraged, that happens based on the work you've done in the past. What do I mean by that? Every time I share the product with somebody, I get paid. Every time I help somebody that join me in the business to share their product, they get paid and I get paid. I love that. So the more successful you become in helping other people have success, the more successful they are, the more successful you are. I've never been around an industry like that. Now, as that grows out, and people are taking the product month after month after month after month and getting phenomenal results. They stay on the product and you're being paid month over month over month. And what the company wants, we want to find other leaders that see it like we do, that want to make a difference in this world and not have to be tied to one place. Well, as we do that, the company rewards us all the leaders across all the globe, and they have an elite pool where literally all the top leaders share in the earnings of the company. And guess what? Doesn't matter when you start, you can hit these ranks if you're willing to work hard, and you don't have to be a doctor to do it. So if you want to get started, here's how it works. If you want the product, great. Whoever invited you to this call, get back and say, hey, look, I really want to try that Axial. I really want to try the Nerve 2. Hey, I want to try the collagen. Ask them about the stacks. They combine these different products to maximize the benefit, but also save you money. Ask them about that. But if you say, hey, you know what? I really want to look at this business. Get your questions answered. Hey, I'm ready to get started. Great. Start with either the Premier Pack or the Elite Pack. The difference in the two packs is the amount of product that comes with it. For me and my family, like I wanted the Elite Pack. I wanted all the products because I wanted to use it. And I want to be familiar with them. So if different people had different needs, I can know what would best for them. So how far can you take this? Totally up to you. Now the company set up in ranks based on the volume that goes to your organization. So as you look at down the left-hand column, it'll show all the way down to what's called Executive Master Pro 10. So I want you to think, how much difference would an extra $500 a month mean to you and your family? What if every month you knew you'd have a 500 extra bucks a month? Well, the Pro 3 is somebody that has 5,000 in volume going through their group, and that's an extra $650 a month. What would that mean for you and your family? What would that allow you to do? Well, a Pro 5, an extra $3,000 extra a month. That's 20,000 volume going through your group. Imagine what that might feel like. Okay, I'm a Pro 7. I hit Pro 7 in 3 years. The Carrie Williams that enrolled me and helped me with this business, she's a Pro 9. Well, and she was a Bath and Body Works store manager. The way you can be successful is just like this. The company does all the hard work. All our job is to share. Like it's the easiest business I've ever had to be a part of running, because literally corporate takes care of all the things from product shipping to dealing with legal to creating the marketing materials for us. Our job is to share, and it's all on the job training. One of the things that's been a surprise for me, and basically one of the biggest blessings, has been the people that I've met throughout this. One of the things I saw in COVID, probably more than anything, was people felt displaced and they felt like they lost their community. LifeVantage is a community that's going to spread across the globe, impacting lives in a giant way. We have the technology, we have the tools. Most people don't know who we are or what we're about. But if you felt something that you saw tonight, like that caught your interest, get your question answered. Like if you're like, I don't like the direction I'm going, I want to find something different, and I want to build something for me and my family, this could be it. So thank you for joining us tonight. Get back to the person that invited you, and we'll see you soon.